not to hoard, as they would otherwise do in a situation where that's rewarded, or at least you're not punished if you work openly. And so the third component of this business model is that no one works for a minimum wage. They work for maximum wage. Now here's what I'm saying. If we talk about minimum wage, we think about people who want $15 an hour, but the truth is, we all work for minimum wage. The business model that we now have depends on people working for as little as possible. And that's the way you make profit in the current system. Okay, what if if people shared in the profit? Wouldn't it stand to reason that they would be so productive that they would win and the company would win? They would grow and the company would grow. It seems so obvious to me that this is the way we ought to be working, but it's for maximum, not for minimum.
I have a perfect example of what you're talking about. Going through this right now. I'm currently in the business of rehabbing homes, and I brought in a woman supposedly was just a painter, and she has over 20 years of experience in rehabbing homes. I quickly realized she knew much more about this business than just painting. And so I had a partner who was going through this old business model that you're talking about. He was trying to maximize his profit by paying them as little as possible. I promptly threw him off the project and went to the woman and her life partner, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you a part of the corporation. I'm going to give you 25% of the net proceeds of the project instead of just paying, and I'm going to pay you a wage. And I'm going to tell you, it was like flipping a switch like you've never seen. She's now working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, because now this isn't just a job for her. This is her thing. It's part of her. She's going to make 25% net proceeds. She told me in over 20 years of working for other investors in homes, no one has ever offered her a piece of the action. No one's ever said, you're a partner now. Nobody's ever pointed at her and said, you're not an employee, you're not a peon, you are an equal with me. As a matter of fact, you're above me. I'm going to make you the chief. You're going to tell me what to do. You've never seen a more motivated person in your life. She has done everything and anything to make this successful. And so, in a lot of ways, what you're saying is when you tell somebody you're not an employee for $15 an hour, you're not an employee for $20, $25, $40 an hour. You're a part of the company, and you're going to share in the profits. So the work you do is not for me, it's for yourself and me. We're partners.
This is what I call an intrapreneur. Not an entrepreneur. They don't have to have money or anything like that to start a business on their own. They work for a business that is an intrapreneur, and they get a fair share of the profit. Let me tell you something. You excite me so much because I'm talking here about a dream. You're talking about reality. Now, I hope that you, through Rich, will be able to contact with me separately because I want to tell your story. This is for real, okay? And it's not just some dream that some professor dreamed up. It works. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
I just did it. I just did it 2 months ago. I threw the guy that wanted to play the old model off I said, get off my property. He was harassing her, trying to tell her how to do her job. I said, you get off the property. I'm going to put her, and I said, now, and after we're done, I'm going to configure the paperwork with my corporation. I'm going to make you a full partner. And I've never seen anybody work harder. And
that is so exciting.
They would have milked the clock. I know what they were doing. They were milking the clock. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because they were on an hourly wage. And the minute I made them their thing, my success and the success of this project is depending on your success. And this is going to be your thing as well as mine. She's now working. She's going to come in tomorrow morning. Her birthday's Monday. She's been threatening to come in on her birthday on bad breaks. I said, no, you take Monday off. And you take care of your brakes on your van, and you take care of yourself. But this is how devoted she is now.
In a normal situation, those kind of promises, this is for you, not just for me. The problem with that is it always turns out to be a bonus or something that is totally unrelated to a fair share of the profit. I am just you're doing it right. I'm really looking. I would like to tell your story.
If I may, Dan, that's Dan Patrick, and he is a Facebook friend, and he does belong to a lot of my groups, and possibly some of your groups as well, Jerry. So definitely contact each other and pursue this.
Absolutely. I've even surprised myself about how successful that idea was. It just came to me. It wasn't something I sat down and sketched out and did numbers or anything like this. I saw her experience. I saw her part. Between them both, they got 60 years experience. I know that they know what they're doing. I said, this is your thing now, and you're the chief. You call the shot.
I don't mean to belittle this, but I have to tell you, it's just common sense.
Yeah, that's what I think.
For 200 years, or certainly for the last 50 years, that's where the demise has come on capitalism. We have made no sense at all. I love it.
Yeah, by making somebody, and the self-esteem boost to this individual has been incredible. She walks around on cloud 9 knowing that she's not just a grunt anymore. She's part of something bigger than herself. She's working to make this a success so she can pocket more money and become more successful, and then eventually maybe branch off and be her own boss or a co-boss with me and further, home renovation ventures. And I mean, it was just like you said. It was just. I just thought, you know what, this is ridiculous. This woman knows so much. She's doing so much for the project. How can I not make her, part of a partner? Mm-hmm. It would be stupid on my part not to. So it wasn't like a stroke of genius. It was, like you said, it's good old-fashioned common sense.
Yeah. Well, in my model, by the way, there are no bosses. There are leaders, there are enablers, but there are no bosses. There is no top-down structure. It's a flat organization. I'm creating a model where they can work the way you work, and know that it's not just an empty promise, which it often is. Wasn't in your case, but it's often. The boss comes and says, "Well, you do good work, and you'll get your reward." Well, that's not the way businesses work these days. They're looking for, they're looking to make the stockholder happy.
Right.
Not the workers.
Well, I made it a cooperative effort. Instead of a me thing, and you work for me, and I said, let's make this a cooperative effort. Everybody's in it all, and we had a talk today.
Now, who do you work for?
I have my own business, a First Choice Property Investment LLC.
Fantastic!
What's that?
Fantastic! How many employees do you have?
I have 2 right now. But I don't even consider employees. They're,
like I said, it's a
cooperative effort.
Earlier, I was given advice, go for the big guys. Don't forget to do this for the big guys. And I accept that. But I also know that it's the small business person who, by the way, is not a whole lot different in his lot as far as his position on the economic scale as his employees. He's working for a living just like they are. And that's where I think this model can start. And once it does, and it will succeed at that level, then I can see bigger companies begin. Bigger companies are already talking about pieces of this stuff, but they're not doing it because they can't get loose from the old model. You can, because, you know, you have the ability, and you have
I'm in that
the
position
right
as
idea.
a business owner. Yes, right. I could make that switch. I flipped that switch. I decided in the middle of the thing, hey, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You know, treating them as a 15-hour, you know, a grunt is not going to get the maximum effort out of them. Making them a piece of the whole thing has turned the whole thing around. She even said, you know what, if you run short of money, I've got money. I got credit card, you know, whatever you need. And I said, don't worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But this isn't our thing, not my thing. You work for me.
Right.
We all work for each other.
Well, there are a lot of you in small business, I'll tell you that. This is not going to be a difficult transition for them. For most small businesses, there are some who want to be like the big boys. But most of them are just, you know, family enterprises. And the people, I just had lunch yesterday I'm in Florida, and I went to a music festival up on the Suwannee River. And when I got there, yeah.
Very
and
nice
when I got there,
yeah.
I asked the guy in the motel. I said, "Where's the closest restaurant?" And he told me, and I said, "Is it a private restaurant?" "Oh no, it's McDonald's." "Well, I don't want to go to McDonald's. Was there a family restaurant?" He says, "Yes." "So it's Fats." So I go down to Fats, and on the door it says, "Well, going to be closed on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Our kids are getting married." And I thought, is this an intermarriage or what? So I go in. And it's a wonderful place. And they put out good food, and the people are very friendly. And no, our kids, everybody who works there is like family. And so one of the young cooks and one of the young waitresses are getting married. Wow. Isn't this wonderful? Our kids are getting married. What a wonderful environment in which to work. These things just drop out of the sky to me and tell me that I'm on the right track.
Oh yeah, but I think the hurdle you're going to come up against are the Lockheed Martins of the world, the IBMs. There's an established corporate culture that's going to be very hard to turn around, and that it's going to have to come from the bottom up. It can't come from
that's where I am, and that's where I am, and I believe it. I believe in people, and I believe in the backyard, and I believe that all the most complex the complex problems of the world are easily understood right there where you live and work, and there's where the solution can work.
I've got a comment. Now, I've been in sanitation 29 years, and I've been doing YouTube videos for the last 5 years or so, and I've got a little bit of a small business doing YouTube videos, and I've got probably 3-4 people that work with me. And as I teach them new things, I encourage them. You come up with an idea, let me know so we can work together. And I'm doing as you're suggesting, and the names are getting bigger and bigger and bigger to now. I was in town just this past weekend. We had a festival in town. I had kids literally every 5 or 10 minutes coming up and like, I know you. I'm like, wow. Because my fan base, I may have like 1,500 plus individuals here in this community that watch me, follow me on multiple networks, but you don't see the numbers when you go and you try to look at all my numbers online. You don't see it there. But when you get right down to the people and you start asking, hey, who's the person to watch, or who's more involved in the community, my name and another name keep coming up. And we're both YouTubers. And what's funny, both of us live within 2 miles of one another. We literally live on the same road. And we've got a good network here that the county paper actually uses. They'll network out to this other individual, but won't network to me. The other individual networked to me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Either way, my pictures still make it to the county paper. My reports